We're good. Yep.
You didn't even read it. I do all this work.
Trump problems, St. Louis problems, lady moving to Mexico. It's all written down right here.
I truly don't think you need a haircut. Can you have a haircut technically now?
Yes.
What does Cheryl think?
Morning, YouTube.
What does Cheryl think?
Oh, no. She's like, hockey's on.
Yeah, does she want a haircut?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, YouTubers. We'll find us some more viewers. Get it where you want it. Let me see what's going on.
We're good. Troubles in Major League Baseball. The list of dangerous and potentially deadly hand sanitizers continues to grow. Some people are leaving this country in the wake of George Floyd's death. And is Trump
Rosie
a
O'Donnell.
genocidal maniac? All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Dylan Feed brings you the weather this morning. It is 77 degrees in Victoria. For all your farm and ranch needs, you need a water trough. You need something out of the 2-4. You need seed. You need fertilizer, pocket knife, LED lights,
Cattle
prod. Come on. Whatever Cheryl likes, go get it. 77 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 97. It's going to be sunny all day. Enjoy it. It's going to be nice.
I agree.
Nice, hot, but it's summer. Remember global warming, climate change?
It's the dog days.
This is it.
Speaking of which,
The dog days drive you to the casino.
well, they drive the St. Louis Cardinals to the casino.
Idiots.
13 cars reportedly testing positive for COVID in the wake of, 18 Marlins that canceled their games last week. Now the Cards games have been shut down. Unless Major League Baseball players pull their heads, collective heads out of their collective backsides, I do not see the Major League Baseball season
The
playing to
season's in
completion.
jeopardy. And
A 60-game season. You've taken 102 games off your season. You had your spring training shut down. You've been sitting in your homes, your mansions,
right.
doing nothing, but probably more than anybody else has been able to do over the time that we were shut down. And you can't keep it together for 60 frickin' days.
It was 2 months and 6 days, people. 66-day season. What gets me is, so July, the month of August, the month of September, and then you've got the playoffs.
Yeah.
And these guys.
An expanded playoffs where more of you get a shot at World Series
and
money.
more money. And these guys are just crazy enough, self-absorbed enough. Remember, they didn't want to play if it wasn't safe. They didn't want to play unless they got their full money.
That's the biggest irony in
And
this
then they
all.
go to the casino and get sick.
And the Marlins go to the club.
Well, and you made the logical statement. Why don't we just tell them they're out? Just say, okay, St. Louis, you're out this year. Nobody has to play St. Louis. St. Louis games don't matter. And the problem is,
Treat it like a franchise folding in the middle of the season.
but now we're hurting
But this
St.
isn't the
Louis
XFL.
management over their players' actions.
Oh well.
Yeah, no,
Gee, so
that's the only
some
disadvantage.
so some millionaire owners,
billionaire.
billionaire owners, The Bushes don't own it anymore, I don't think, do they?
No.
It's not Budweiser anymore, but I don't know. I mean, it's just the owners didn't want to create a bubble. So they end up with the problems they have.
Absolutely.
Patrick Strauss is in. Chris Conrad, good morning. He's probably happy Winnipeg Jets won last night. Beat my Flames 3-2. Bobby Leister, H.R. Mallory, David Glass, Christina Wise, still sitting at 67. Thank you to the Leisterometer. Randy Langston's in. Marvin McCush, Chris Jansen, Scott Snow, Judge Posey, H.R. Mallory, Matt Boucher. We're gonna get Matt in here soon because it's time to start prepping for those fall gardens, I'm assuming.
I think Matt
So
would have been
hot.
proud of me. I was out there, boxer shorts, fertilizing my yard in the rain last weekend. I thought that was the weekend before, actually. All last weekend. But you've seen it. It's a bush.
It's the greenest
Lush.
lawn on your cul-de-sac.
It's lush.
It is lush.
Yes.
Brent Anderson, Scott Tomko, Madeline Mayer,
Good morning, Zip.
Diane Tippett, Tanya Asbury. Chris Conrad says, are baseball players really that dumb?
Yes.
Or
they
is it
are.
just their passive-aggressive way of opting out of the season?
Well, they're just such type A personalities. They believe they're bulletproof. You know, they
So bulletproof, they were so concerned they didn't want to play.
You think there's some wives that are upset? Honey, it's tough. Got this road trip. They went to the casino.
Yeah.
Got sick.
You stay home and look after the kids and the dogs and the cats, and I've just got to go play games. And yeah, there's my beautiful wife Cheryl checking in. The Iceman is in. Torrin Bales, Tom Price.
Give a special shout out to. Well, this is ultimately to Pat McDonald,
Yeah.
but it came through Jordan. Jordan was a young lady that used to stay with the McDonald's. She also worked at Days Gone By, some during the holidays and all that. And she and her fiance Marcus worked with the Hooks down in Corpus. And she sent us his gear. And I mean, said, look, it's a Springer jersey.
Springer gear.
Very pleased to have it. It's very, very fits nice.
Nice,
Right? It's
yeah.
nice quality stuff. And
Shameless Sports Gear Tuesday.
yeah, if you have gear that doesn't interfere with our sponsors, you send it. We might wear it.
Sports gear.
Yeah, we like sports gear.
Yeah.
Very, very pleased
I'm
to
not
have
going to look like a
this
NASCAR.
Right.
car.
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've got a shoulder right here that I would whore out on a daily basis. You know, just right there. You want to put something right there? Sure.
Monica Jost, Lisa
Like-
Poole,
like
Evan
a-
Daughtry.
Like a tooth. It says like Tom Fortiani underneath there. You bet, Tom. Give me a call. You want to advertise? I'm your guy.
Michael Terrell, Pablo Perez. Matt Boucher says, your poor neighbors.
I wouldn't look like
They're in your boxers.
I wouldn't look
I
like
blocked the visual when you said that, thankfully.
I would look like European soccer. You know, those guys have like everything, mom,
Fly-
it's everything.
Fly Emirates.
Yeah, it's all on there because they get a discount on their team flights by having them on their jerseys. There's a lot of bartering going on in Europe. I would do that.
Cody Rosenquist, good morning. Callie Fromme, Karen Webb. There's my beautiful Tyler.
Wife, Cheryl. Oh, your daughter.
No, my beautiful wife is in, and then my equally as beautiful daughter Tyler's in.
There you go.
Because she takes after her mom. Thankfully.
Torn Bell says we like beer. I'd put Shiner right there, just right the patch right there. Shiner.
I could do that.
Sure.
Iceman says we look straight out of the movie Major League.
Just a bit outside. Yeah, we would do it.
I think
too.
we're more Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Trey Molina says that gear looks good on us. I really like the hat. That logo's
That's
sharp.
a nice hat.
Yeah.
The hooks are sharp.
Cousin Jeremy checking in. We're huge in Phoenix this morning. Paul Ebner, Johnny Houghton. We're huge in Manitoba.
Didi Geigel.
Jimbo Slice, Greg Garcia. Good morning. So
Jimbo Slice's American beer.
the Cards and the Marlins,
They're out. Kick them out.
two National League teams, by the way.
That aren't going to contend. Maybe the Marlins might contend.
Is baseball? Does this with the Marlins? Well, it's a one-off. With the Cardinals pulling this crap, is it too early to start wondering if the Major League Baseball 60-game truncated season is in jeopardy.
I think it is in jeopardy. I think
because the Marlins, their season or their games last week were postponed.
Thanks, Iceman.
How are you going to make that up?
Yeah,
in a 60-game season.
You don't have time. They're already playing 60 games in 66 days. I mean, there's not a lot of makeup time.
Then Philadelphia's games were postponed because Philadelphia was quarantined for safety, and they had to sanitize the park and deep clean.
Maybe it's like Survivor. Maybe you just play to the last team and field a roster.
Yeah,
it's down to the Astros and Yankees. Who's got players left? Astros played tonight. They were off last night. The Hooks gear.
I think they're where are they now? They're heading to.
They were in California.
Yeah, I think they're Arizona. That's where they're going.
So, who are they playing in Arizona? Diamondbacks.
The D-backs. Yep.
So, the Hooks gear is somewhat pertinent even to the Astros big league roster. Jose Urquidy and
Yordan Alvarez.
Urquidy. That guy. And Yordan Alvarez.
Jordan.
You corrected me. You said from one communist to another, and I should know it's Yordan.
It's Cuban.
They're all down there rehabbing. That's where they go to get better. Alvarez swinging a bat again. They said 30 swings the other day. Urquidy's ready to go.
So roughly 2 at bats worth?
Right.
Maybe 3.
Foul ball. They're saying that Adam Rogers got it figured out. Brent will be a walking NASCAR billboard. It's like, here he comes in the number 24 DuPont Chevy Monte Carlo. That'd be me. Yes. I would do it. There's
BJ Nelson.
I'd have
Larry Leahy.
Services on this shoulder. I'd have Tom Fortiani on this shoulder.
Greg Garcia says the baseball season's fast becoming a sinking ship at this rate.
It is. And it's the players' irresponsibility.
Exactly.
The players are the ones whining about, it's got to be safe. We have our families to think about. Come on, guys, let's go to the club. Come on, guys, let's go to the casino. Then they all end up sick. I'm not convinced that they shouldn't be fined for, actions detrimental to the team. It's like you had one job, stay healthy and play baseball. That's one job.
That is one job.
Stay healthy and play baseball. It's a kid's game. They're not even, they're making a ton of money. It's dumb.
Uh-oh. The video's been interrupted. I'm wondering if people can hear us still.
I don't know.
There we go. No,
the video has ended. I'm going to go restart it. Don't pay.
Go start it. I'll keep going. But I think
push on.
Yeah, I think Major League Baseball season is in jeopardy, personally. I just don't see how you're going to be able to. You've got 3 teams affected by COVID now. I just don't see how they're going to be able to continue to press on if the players don't start taking it seriously.
We're back.
And that's what this tells me is these guys just don't care.
No.
So, it's selfish. And even if they're the healthiest specimens on earth and likely aren't going to see any negative effects from COVID.
Right. How can our video be interrupted? You're talking about baseball and YouTube is Facebook is zapping us.
It's back now.
All right, we're back.
But I don't know.
Maybe the Hooks would let us guest manage.
No such issues with the NHL. They went through their phase 4 testing and did not have a positive test after players were put into the bubble. 800 and some odd NHL players testing.
What is your deal? Hockey's superior. Hockey players are more committed to their sport.
Seem to be.
Maybe they're just lucky.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Even the NBA with Lou Williams and his idiocy.
Sweet Lou. He's the only one.
He's the only one. The rest managed to survive it.
You think Lou is on a bubble? You think Lou's in a little trouble with his program? There's Jeremy Pena checking in from Baytown.
Lou might be in a lot of trouble with a lot of folks at the moment.
Hey, JP, tell me this. At 10 minutes after the hour in Baytown, is it a little humid over there this morning? A little humid in Baytown? Whew.
It's 15:15 the hour.
It's a phone call.
It is.
Let's see who it is. Good morning.
Good morning, Wayne Carter. We just restarted it, but we appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much. If you go back and try again, we're live again.
All right. Thank you.
Second life.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Hey, we love that. We just got a call from, well, you could hear it. Caller just said, hey, your Facebook feed's not working. But we're back.
We're back now, so that's good.
Live.
I think everybody came back in. We even added a couple. J Dub's in.
Tuesday, Jake Dub. Tuesdays are the worst day.
Mike Bloschke.
Hello,
Arthur O'Brien. Free Lou Williams.
Free. They're oppressing Lou, Arthur. You know that. They're holding him down, man. Where did he get it? He was in a titty bar.
Yeah.
Nice move, Lou. Nice move. Go get your groove on at the strip club and lose your job in the NBA.
Isn't that just the smartest thing
Well,
ever?
you can't do that to Lou. That'd be discrimination.
No. Because he made a bad choice. He can't.
You can't hold people
accountable for their bad choices in life.
That's
not the American way anymore.
That's not fair. Boy, have you seen, speaking of holding people accountable, did you see this video? It's been everywhere. I saw it about 5 different sources of Nancy Pelosi in that yellow dress.
No, I did not see that one.
Coach, this broad is toast.
Because I'm wearing a jersey.
Oh, yeah. You're I've got to. Let me just find one of these that says, it'll say, wow. And you're just like, let me find it.
All right.
I'll find it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you just look. You just can't believe it. I'll find it. You go ahead.
All right.
You're busy.
Allen's Wrecker Service. I don't know if they could pull us out of the ditch this morning, but they can pull you out of the ditch. 578-6300.
Let me take this. Let me take this. You watch this video. Go offline, Andy. I'm gonna turn your mic off there. You just go watch that. You go watch that. You tell me objectively if Nancy Pelosi is tossed in that video. Folks, Allen's Wrecker Service. If you get pulled over, if your car won't go, 578-6300. You reach out to Allen. Allen Miller will come and take care of you himself. Him, Janet, little Allen. They're all there, and they'll take care of you at 578-6300. The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer, all part of the Hartman Communication empire. Whether you need surveillance, fire suppression, you need stuff at your restaurant, you need cameras, which you do. If you don't have a security system right now, you're going it alone and you're crazy. Reach out to the Hartman family. Let them help you with all your communication needs. SCT Building Systems, Clayton Casey Help. 564-8864. They'll help you with a she shed, a barn dominium, bricks and sticks, traditional home, concrete form. The beautiful thing is they can do every type of residential and light commercial construction. And as a result, they'll give you the advice that best meets your needs. They don't just try to steer you to a metal building because they're a metal building contractor. They build what you need and what you want, and Casey can help you with the design. There's nobody finer than Bobby Leon's family, Chestic Furniture Company. Chestic and Love make your house a home for 100 years. The corner of Juan Lynn
and Bridge.
116 West Juan Lynn. Thank you. That mic sounds better. 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge. That's Chestic Furniture Company. Now, you tell me objectively.
Absolutely hammered.
The bag?
Absolutely hammered.
And what is that? I'm being sincere when I tell you that's a press conference. She's got the flags behind her.
She's being asked questions.
Listen to this.
Their pants or something. He comes in with doggy do on his shoes. What is this, a word somebody used to me? You would understand it better if you knew what a confivator is.
Look, that was hot. She is in full regalia. She's got a drink in her hand, people.
Well, that's either water or straight up vodka.
But look, gotten her drink, and she's got the flags behind her. She's at a press conference. And she is, I mean, I got this from half a dozen people yesterday. Several of them just sent me the word, wow. I mean, I haven't seen anybody that drunk in front of a microphone since Ash on Canada Day. Unbelievable, this woman.
When the last time you were at a karaoke bar.
Right.
Dwayne Payne checking in, Eric Alex.
Neon moon. How to sound.
Sweet Caroline.
Ba, ba, ba. Sing it, people.
BJ Nelson says, are you sure they didn't slow it down?
Yeah, no, it looked like real feed to me. She's like, everybody knows somebody. Looked like Dean Martin at a celebrity roast. Maybe she was hosting a celebrity roast.
Jimbo Slice says, that's vodka. American vodka. It's Tito's.
Right, absolutely. You know, Tito's a billionaire now.
Yeah.
You know, there's stories about.
I'm gonna break the world open on the vodka. Tito's is an exception. A few of those sort of microbrew distilleries are exceptions. All comes out of the same vat.
Sure it does.
Just they put a different label on each bottle. The same rot gut that they sell for $8.95, brewed by the same massive distillery. Their $8.95 a bottle vodka is the exact same vodka that's in their $44 a bottle vodka.
Marketing.
Yep, it is.
The thing is, I've always been told if you're going to drink cheap liquor, drink cheap vodka, because the process itself of just making vodka is one that the spread isn't that great. You can get some really rot gut gin or rot gut bourbon, but the gap between world class exceptional vodka and cheap vodka is not very big. The idea, Tito Beverage, the guy, said
that was his name.
Tito Beverage.
Yeah. He was destined.
He was. You get to a certain point where the big distilleries come in and they want to buy you, and they lean on you. Think about it like at a grocery store where they lean on you about grocery store space and all that. They start making it very uncomfortable for you as a private enterprise to be in the liquor stores, to be in the distribution.
Well, it's all about shelf space, right?
And he fought it. He fought it and won. But he's one of the rare ones.
He fought the law and the law won. But he won.
Right. Yeah. He shot the sheriff.
Yeah, there we
go. But he didn't shoot the deputy. And it was in self-defense.
So he claimed.
Speaking of self-defense, are you and I ever going to address our activities?
Yeah, we need to, because we had a very good time, and want to thank Sheriff Louderback for facilitating the LTC class,
which they now call a license to carry class, because there's no longer a concealed handgun license. Because you can, if you choose, if you have the license to carry, you can carry open carry. You can have a holster on your hip there, Barney Fife, if that's what you want to do. I was interested. Sheriff Louderback said that he wasn't a big fan of open carry, and he said that his logic or his reasoning is that the whole purpose or the whole onus upon those that carry is to avoid situations where they have to use a weapon, and that having a gun on your hip could incite
the response.
Yeah. You know, what are you going to do? Shoot me? What are you going to do? You know, that kind of deal. So I had a wonderful time at the class. If you ever have an opportunity, and I don't know, he only does it a couple of times a year, 3 or 4 times a year. But Sheriff A.J. Louderback was, he's a natural classroom administrator. We probably had 20 people in our classroom. And he went around, everybody was encouraged and sometimes demanded to participate. What do you think? And there were lots of in-class polls. Show me a hand if you think. Kept you engaged in the class. The 4 hours of classroom went by amazingly swiftly. I mean, like, done, over. We'll talk about that more in a minute.
Good morning, Wade and Carter. Hey, James, how are you?
What's going on? Well, they're already bad guys until they start shooting. You know? Well,
Yeah,
well, not only are you
appreciate
right,
that.
but
Thanks, James.
you are right, James. And one thing to remember is in my lifetime, it was all fun and games when they decided to have a show of force at Kent State University. College kids were protesting. College kids were, my dad would say, making a monkey of themselves. It was all fun and games until one of those National Guardsmen shot a college kid. And just a moment of anarchy broke out. And you had dead teenagers, dead young people laying all over Kent State University. So a scar on our nation that still lingers. It's still there. It's one of the main reasons it hasn't happened since is because there was no positive outcome. Now,
National Guard, no longer armed for the most part, right?
well, and I can remember, there's a fine line between what you can do and what you should do. Just because you can eat anything you want doesn't mean you should make sushi out of chicken and pork, because you're going to get sick. So if you go out there and you walk up to these National Guardsmen who are just people, highly trained, caring, giving people, but if you keep spitting on them and kicking them and talking about their mama, the next thing you know, one of them out of that 200 might bust a cap in you. And once that first shot is fired, since every guardsman knows that they're not the ones that are going to initiate fire, they assume that somebody has shot at them.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you've got dead people laying everywhere. And guess who gets the blame? The guard. You keep poking the big dog and you might get bit. It doesn't mean the dog needs to be put down.
No, I think Chris Conrad asked the question. It says, statement, if you brandished, it's a question, statement and a question. If you brandished a loaded weapon while you are protesting, can you really be surprised or upset when you get shot?
No.
Case in point, in Austin, the motorist had that idiot walk up to his window and point his rifle at him. And he just happened to be, I think was he LEO? Do you know if that guy was an off-duty deputy or something?
If he was, he wasn't very smart.
In the car. No, the guy in the car.
The guy in the car was a sergeant in the military.
Okay. So he feels threatened because he has a rifle pointed in his window, and he decides to pop, fire point blank and kill the guy.
People have anxiety, people have anger, people have pent-up emotion. One thing Sheriff Louderback pointed out is, and this was something along the lines of you come out in the front yard. There's guys standing at the edge of your street, and they're yelling at you that you're a bad person. And you come out with your gun, like the folks in St. Louis. I have a little bit different perspective on the situation in St. Louis now than I had before. You come out there and you point a gun at those folks. If one of them feels threatened for their life and pulls a weapon and shoots you, it's almost arguably understandable. Hey, you put them in a position where they felt like they had to defend themselves. You were pointing a gun at them,
First.
So what you do is you invite them in for a piece of cake, and then you shoot them. Yeah. We did not learn that in class.
No.
We did not learn that. I made that up.
Well, kind of. You try to de-escalate and get away from the situation, and that's your first responsibility. That was probably the biggest takeaway. Not that wouldn't have been the case anyway, but he over and over and over, and not to overemphasize, but over as far as continually emphasized and repeatedly emphasized that your first responsibility, if you're carrying, is to avoid the situation at all costs.
That's right. Because you're messing with somebody's life. One thing I found interesting, I'm an analogy guy. I learn through analogies. And one thing that Sheriff Louderback pointed out was, hey, anytime there was a time years ago where they'd say, well, Billy Bob had a right to shoot that guy, and let's just go on to the buffet. Court's over. Those days are over. Those days are over. People's feelings are involved. The jury's feelings are involved, and everybody's going to say, did you have every opportunity to get away from this situation? Was your danger immediate and unavoidable? Those were the two key words. One thing Sheriff Louderback said that really resonated with me is anytime you pull a weapon, you are standing on ice. If you follow the law, you can at least stand on the thickest part of the ice. There are things you can do. Being an aggressor with a weapon moves you to really thin ice, where you could fall through and then you get wet. So lots to learn, lots of responsibility. One of the big advantages, I think, of having the license is there may come a time when you can't get it. And it allows you to
bypass the 3-day waiting period.
If you want to buy a gun, you can go buy a gun. Because I know that when you want something, you want it now.
And he did talk about how Texas laws, fences, types of fences are basically no trespassing signs. You don't have to have a sign that says no trespassing. It helps, but fences act in that way. And again, not sure of the laws in St. Louis, where they had a gated community, but he did stress that gated communities in Texas are private property. So that would signal no trespassing.
Common sense would signal no trespassing, well, but you can't. That's a hard defense when the guy's dead. He didn't have common sense.
Johnny Hodden says, detect, deter, avoid, minimize.
I like
it. HR says every bullet has a lawyer attached to it.
HR, good point.
That was something else he stated too, that if your weapon gets involved in a situation like this process will linger for a long time. Whether you shoot it or not, you're going to probably end up in the criminal courts system and certainly the civil courts. And then it becomes a lengthy process.
Yeah, because you can be sued over anything. And think about this now. And then this is the situation that really could come back to haunt you. Is the guy comes to your house. He's trying to break into your house. You hear something. You get up, to dial 911, but then it escalates. You hear him in your kitchen. You hear one of your kids scream. So you rush into the living room and you confront that person, and they appear to, let's say they do draw a weapon, and you shoot them and kill them. The court's going to come out. The detective is going to come out and say, I got your back. I understand what happened here. But all of a sudden, the perpetrator's wife files a lawsuit against you. He was just trying to steal some silver to sell to feed his 3 little kids. He was just trying to get by. And in today's society, the court might go, poor guy, he was just trying to feed his family. We're giving a judgment against the Wallet Shells for $40 million. It could happen. So you have to really have an immediate and unavoidable fear.
And that was another example. Is that situation, is that fear immediate when they turn and run because you showed your weapon and all of a sudden you plug them in the back?
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of hard to justify that shooting in the back. Tell you what you're going to have today, folks. It's immediate and unavoidable. That's an urge for Veracruz. Get in today. You can call them 576-6015.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. You don't even need a license. There's a concealed enchilada license. You just go right in and get it. Veracruz, today for lunch. You'll be glad you went.
You got your CEL?
It's good stuff. Got your concealed enchilada license. Got an enchilada in your pocket. Just glad to see him. Could be a burrito. At any rate, Veracruz today, the tortillas, the queso, guacamole, the hot sauce, it's simply the standard. It's the best in town. Fantastic place to go. Great, friendly, family people. Lee and I
I was thinking more churro.
Miss Minnie, a little churro. There's a little brown sugar on it.
Churro in your pocket.
Wow. A flauta. It's more of a flauta than a burrito. There you have it. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull. We're going to get JP to give us a call. I did ask JP to call, but I don't think
he's probably sleeping still. Yeah, no.
Why don't we call?
Well, because there's a lot of talk about TikTok.
Yeah, we have to get to that in a minute.
Yeah, and I don't know that people. I think JP could be the one that could break it down as to why the president and the government is so concerned about TikTok.
I have no doubt that JP can help us with that.
Yeah.
And Razor IT Solutions can understand things. He understands the motivation behind what's happening on the internet. You're like, wow, I had 900 hits on my webpage yesterday. That may not be a good thing. It may be that 820 of them are from India and Russia trying to get into your page and get your analytics.
They won't learn your analytics. They
Right.
want your data.
They want your data.
They want your personal information.
What's the code? Reach out to them. Dan Rather did. Ads and Offer dealerships since 1926. Chevy, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Cadillac. Reach out to them. I'm taking my mom's car tomorrow. This is interesting. My mom drives a little Mercedes, and tomorrow I'm taking it to Ads and Offer. They're going to do a service. They called yesterday to make sure they wanted to know her VIN number. They wanted to make sure that they had the right filter for her vehicle.
Nice.
And that's the way they work. They know that you sometimes drive a vehicle that didn't come from Ads and Offer. Some people do. I know it's hard to believe, but it has happened.
I think the key is ASC certified, right?
If you'll go by, they'll take care of you at Ads and Offer. I still call it Ads and Offer Chevrolet, but it's just
Ads and Offer.
And adsandoffer.com.
You can do all. You can buy your vehicle online at adsandoffer.com. They'll even bring it to you if you're worried about the COVID and don't want to leave your home. Which I don't know why you buy a car then, but
it's kind of like
go ahead.
And Scott Nelson. We just call them white trash, but it's actually white trash services. 550-1826.
Peachy said, "Don't make me call."
The Nelson family will help you with all your trash-tastic needs. They're now the official trash agency of the Bloomington ISD. They've got Rockport, Holiday Beach, and they're in Victoria and the 5 surrounding counties.
Community counties?
Community counties. That's
you pulling a Pelosi this morning?
Come and get your trash. Man, Nancy Pelosi was so in the bag.
Even if they slowed it down, there's still words in there she's slurred that you can't do if without the aid of alcohol.
She said,
so I've heard
in a sentence, the president came in with doggy poo on his feet. She's blasted.
How would you know?
Right? She's from California. She's a leader.
Although I could see the Donald out there scooping the poop off the east lawn by the rose garden. That's why the roses look so good. The dogs are running loose.
True. That one's a little yellow.
I need to give Matt Boucher a call and figure out what's going on with the acidity of the soil there.
Good morning, Carl Smith. I did see earlier Mr. Jim Hartman checking in. Good morning to you, sir.
So 100 different sanitizers now on the list of the FDA warning. Back in June, the agency first warned that some of these contain methanol, which can be toxic when it's absorbed through the skin.
Re-engage,
We're
refocus.
refocused.
We're back.
Potentially deadly if ingested. And here we go again.
Oh, like a Tide Pod? Are you supposed to
Kind
drink
of.
hand sanitizer?
No. Hand sanitizer.
Right, not
It's
colon.
in the
not
word.
colon cleanse.
No.
It's hand sanitizer.
It's not mouthwash.
I mean, just because it comes in a vodka bottle doesn't mean you drink it.
And it has alcohol in it. But that's the problem. There are people that are to that point where they will drink it because it's cheaper than booze. But now,
at least mix it with something.
In the rush to rip everybody off in this, what I think I'm going to start calling the election infection.
I like it.
But in the rush to rip people off over their fears of sanitization and cleanliness, the FDA now warning that a lot of these hand sanitizers aren't good for killing anything except maybe you if you drink them, because they don't have enough alcohol in to actually kill the germs you're trying to kill. So
BJ Nelson sums it up. At the end of the day, wash your hands with soap. Didn't we learn that in kindergarten?
Yeah, we did.
But we're from Texas. You go to some of these northern states, they don't get it, and they elect people like Ilhan Omar and AOC.
So they do not have enough levels of either ethyl alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, which are the main ingredient to kill the germs.
Right.
And nearly all the hand sanitizers on the FDA's list now of 100 were manufactured in Mexico, according to the FDA release. They've recommended recalls for most of the products and also issued alerts to halt them from even being imported into the country. But I won't give you the entire list of 100 because we'd be here till tomorrow. But I will give you.
It would fill some time.
Yeah, well, I would. I'll give you some of the brand names. Basically, stay away from anything named Bloomin', Blumen. Look at that. Bloomin'. I start sounding like Nancy Pelosi.
Well, there are a bunch of them there.
And then all sorts of flavors: lavender, aloe,
Bloomin'.
Yeah.
Democrat hand sanitizer.
Hello Kitty hand sanitizer. Stay away from that one. Assured instant hand sanitizer.
It's a good name.
It is.
Be assured.
Next hand sanitizer. That's a brand I've seen.
Next.
Yeah. I don't know where they sell that one, but that one just Next hand sanitizer.
Next.
It's telling you what to do. Go to the next one. Herbasil is another name that populates the list fairly frequently. Clean Care is another one. Optimus is another one. So just giving you an idea of some of the list.
Page after page after page.
100. And this list is going to grow. I think Friday when I first saw this, there were 80 on it. They had another 20 over the weekend. People are just trying to rip people off, and they're panic-induced.
What if we have
fear?
Wade and Carter hand sanitizer?
I'd make it with tequila so the FDA couldn't tell you not to drink it.
That's brilliant. Can you imagine you can wash your hands and get crushed like Nancy Pelosi?
Exactly.
On one pint. I need a pint of hand sanitizer, a Mickey of hand sanitizer.
Per ounce, I bet you hand sanitizers might be one of the most expensive liquids you can buy right now.
Yeah. Boy, gasoline's cheap.
See that? $3 for a little bottle like this. Yeah, and then people will complain because a gallon of gas is $1.60.
It is $1.60. Folks, you should fill up today even if you don't need to.
Julie Flessner says she's bought a bottle of hand sanitizer whose scent can only be described as hangover. Smelled like a night of heavy drinking.
Wow. Julie, if you don't get help at Charter, get help somewhere.
Call Nancy Pelosi for
consult your health recommendations. Covered. Maybe you and Nancy could be in there together. Can you imagine Nancy? Oh, wow. You think you've got problems?
Michael Jolly asks, what issues do we all think will be made up in 2021 after this all blows over? When the president wins in 91 days, and we'll get in. Let's take the break, then we'll get into this because we're at the quarter. We're at the quarter to the mark.
Uncle Mud's barbecue. Slide by today. Brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey.
Sleep deprived Tuesday.
Sleep deprived Tuesday. When hockey plays on Monday nights, Ash doesn't sleep. He's up grinding over why the Flames lost, and they lose so often now.
Hey, we're 1-1 in the best of 5.
He can't sleep. He sleeps like a baby when they win. I'm praying they get some good trade, some trade bait this next season. Uncle Mutt's would be a great place to go. Don't forget Uncle Mutt's when it's time for catering. They'll do groups of 10. You want to have 10 folks over? Uncle Mutt's will do it. And they show up.
You want to have 100 folks over, but social distance in groups of 10.
Right. Like out of the 2-4, we could put tables out, feeding stations, if you will.
All over.
Uncle Mutt's.
You might have to eat with the cows.
Uncle Mutt's.
Ooh, that would be weird. Eating brisket with the cow staring at you.
Sorry, Bill.
I've seriously, I felt guilty walking out to my grill with a tray of steaks, and the cows are all standing on the fence looking at me. I think they could smell it.
Them.
I just look at them. Keep it up, Bessie. Right. This will be you.
Like I told you, if you lop the head off one of those chickens, those other 12 would start laying eggs. You can bet on that. Great Barn Design. Reach out to Cheryl to make your next party memorable. 920-6803. Cheryl will come out. She'll sit down and visit with you about what the theme of your party, how you want your party to be perceived. And then she has the skill and the tools to make it happen. Ash makes
it's because she leaves this tool out of the way.
Trellises, all kind. Yeah, don't let and she learns. Next time she'll carry her own flowers.
Exactly.
Reach out to Cheryl at 920-6803. Went Services, Went Electrical, Went Generators. It is generator season, but if you want to take advantage of the sunshine. Oh, sunshine. You want solar?
Sensei.
You want solar power? You reach out to Went. He's got solar panels to put on the roof, battery backup.
Generac, Kohler, Briggs and Stratton, and Cummins. There's a whole bunch of brands.
Generac, of course, made right here in the U.S. and Wisconsin. They'll tell you what's best for you. They'll help you make a good, informed decision about your grid minimization program. That would be your GMP.
And these backup generators, whole home backup generators, have become very, very affordable in the last few years.
You said whole home backup generators. You said ho hum. These ho hum generators.
Well, they kind of are. Technology's not as.
It is kind of ho hum now.
When they first came out, it was like, that's so cool. Now it's just like,
If you don't have one, you're not so cool.
No, but you see them all over the place.
Charlie Garcia would like to come out and resurface your patio, your front porch, especially your garage. They clean it. They know what they're doing. They'll sand it down. There won't be any oil spots. They put down a nice polyurethane type. I don't know. It's some high-tech stuff.
It's words you can't pronounce. Polyurethane is the biggest word you can pronounce.
It's space shuttle stuff. And they'll put that down in your garage.
Slip resistant, crack resistant, won't peel, UV resistant.
No more oil stains on your garage floor. 578-HOME, HOME. That'll be it. Lisa Poole says we need to get our goggles ready.
You know, and I don't know if maybe it's because it's the summer and swim season is here. I actually went and looked the other day at the store to buy us a couple of pairs of goggles to wear. Gone. Can't get them. So I don't know if that's because Fauci said wear your goggles or if we're in the middle of pool season.
What else did Fauci say about President Donald Trump?
Well, this was interesting because it didn't get mentioned. But Friday said that he credits a lot of what the president's taken for saving lives, thousands of lives. The flight bans are one. He also said he was involved in pretty much every major decision that has come out of the White House. And I don't think he was doing it to brag. I think he was doing it to tell people, look, the president just isn't acting on a whim here. And this is a guy who's been around since the 1980s. So it's not like Trump just hired him and put him in charge. No, he's been doing this.
Fauci's the guy that's credited with isolating
or discredited
isotope for the AIDS virus. I just made up isotope. I just felt like it was a good word to use.
And he said also that he thinks by the end of this year we will have a vaccine ready to go.
Are you first in line for that?
I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'll let the first people get it and be like those soldiers in. Where was it? In Ukraine. Comrade.
I want to give it to the Ukraine.
5 of the 15
first.
Took it and died.
Full third take a vaccine and die. That's not good. Only, 1 out of 50 dies of the corona, if 1 out of 3 dies of the vaccine, that's where literally the cure is worse than the disease.
HR Mallory says, going back to the LTC, did Ash sandbag on the range, or did he put on a display of what the Soviets taught him?
You know, I hadn't thought about this, HR. That is a solid point because, you know, it's interesting because he did, and Sheriff Louderback, once again, I can't emphasize enough that he gave us really good instruction. I didn't have a bad grip, but he said, try this. And he showed me where to put my hand. He goes, think about it being kind of like a golf grip. And I felt so much more in control of the weapon at that point.
Every time you shot, you yelled 4.
I did go for it. No, I was shooting like a Canadian. Boom, sorry, boom, sorry. But
Pew, pew.
I was the only guy on the range with a suppressor. I don't know. So, I'm over here. They think I was in hitman school. But no, it was very, very serious business and very structured and very, very welcomed. I enjoyed it very much. I felt very, very safe among people that I did not know with handguns in their hands.
Johnny Houghton, speaking language I don't even know anymore. His Spetsnaz training, left-handed, one-handed reload.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, he had it. In the end, Ash was the only guy out there that had the 2 crossing, like ammo belts across his chest. But he also had a big sombrero on. So I think he was trying to deflect and not look like the Russian spy that he is.
The KGB?
Dawn shot well. HR had asked if I outshot Dawn.
You did.
I think I scored more points than Dawn, but Dawn, you saw she's very capable with any kind of. She's really good with a long gun as well. She shoots a rifle very well.
I actually was more accurate from further away.
Yeah, well,
than I was from up close.
Training.
Yeah.
I actually missed the silhouette. I didn't miss the target, but I missed the silhouette. At 15 yards, you had to fire 5 rapid shots, and only three of mine found the black part of the silhouette. One was like in the throat. I was like, that's not where I was aiming. But I'll tell you this, I learned this. If you're 15 yards from somebody and they're holding a gun, just run. Just run in a serpentine or something.
Actually, no, I wouldn't run in a serpentine. I'd run in a straight line because judging by a lot of the silhouettes, hard to hit. I mean, that shot will pull left.
I'm telling you the truth. That
so if somebody's a right-handed shot and you're 15 yards,
run to the right.
Run to your right because they're going to shoot left.
That's a great point. I'll tell you something. You see that TV show where the guy's he's been shot in the shoulder and he's laying on the ground. He shoots 2 guys under the car and then he rolls over and shoots the guy running down the street at 50 yards. Didn't happen.
Nope. It's all in a movie.
Didn't happen. The best thing you can do if somebody has a gun is run.
The best line that Sheriff Louderback might have had. So you saw a documentary based about a true movie.
It was true. I'm just trying to tell you it was true.
Did Ash get to shoot off his steed RCMP style? That was not Dudley
That's
Do Right.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
No. I will say this, though. For Joe Biden, and it just shows you how the media has no clue.
No clue.
For Joe Biden to come out and say, well, you just need to shoot him in the knee.
Sure.
That tells me that Joe Biden has never shot a handgun, ever. Because that would be the hardest thing to do.
Somebody's running at you,
and the media that never questioned him have also never shot
That's
a handgun.
Point. We saw that. Remember in what is the movie with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover?
Oh, Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, he shoots him right in the knee. I mean, come on, that doesn't happen. You shoot him in the knee when he's duct taped to a chair and you're interrogating him.
Yeah, from right above
there.
him. Yeah.
You know? I'd be the guy that, can you see Brother Gary like as a big time interrogator? You got blood on my button down. Are you kidding me? I told you not to bleed here.
One drop, might as well be 4.
It's going to take forever to get that out. I have to use some hand sanitizer.
I'm going to drop this off and leave it at the cleaners for 2 days.
Gary takes his shirts to the cleaners and like it's been an amazingly tough week of hitman duties. Yeah, that's ketchup. Get that out of there, will you? Put some spray wash on that.
A little vinegar, baking soda.
Some 30 weight, some ball bearings.
A little white wine.
Take care of that for me.
What was the question? What do we think is going to happen in 2021 post-election? Well,
That was 20 minutes ago.
I know we didn't get to it.
Okay.
We were going to get to it after the break. It's technically after the break.
After the break.
I think we're going to see more impeachment proceedings of Donald Trump when Donald Trump wins.
Really?
Yeah. They're not going to go quietly. They're going to accept the next 4 years. For the first 2 years, they'll try to get rid of it. Then they'll realize that they've got to start focusing on 2024 and which idiot they could actually think that might have a chance at winning in 2024.
You want to know some names? I'm already telling you who's coming out there in 2024. You need to get ready for the name of Jim Jordan. You need to get ready for the name of Dan Crenshaw. And I think you need to get ready for the name of Allen West. I think Allen West may be in the mention as a VP candidate in 2024.
This election in November is, in my opinion, key to the American dream, the ideals of American values, everything that America has stood for, innovation, capitalism, the good and bad that comes with it. But you can't tell me there's another nation on earth that has lifted more people up based on the idea that if you work hard, you'll be rewarded for it.
Nobody's trying to sneak into Russia. Nobody's trying to sneak into Canada, to China.
Somebody said, I think Civil War. I think it might get to that if Donald Trump loses, because there's people here that aren't going to accept socialism.
There's my wonderful bride, T-Lad, says, you didn't mention that my dad almost shot a perfect score. So Joey shot 248 out of 250. But I'll tell you something. You know when you used to go to the carnival as a kid and they had that little card and the little star on it? They gave that little
You had to knock the whole star out.
Well, you're like, you're like one little hanging chad there that you couldn't get. Well, AJ walks by me and said, I had a pretty good groupie. And he goes, Brent, I think you're shooting too slow. We're not target shooting here. We're defense shooting. You need to get a real assessment of where your skill level is. And then he walked by Dawn and he said, I think you can shoot better. There were a couple of spots where Dawn was aware she was pulling the gun to the left, like we talked about. And he said, I think you can aim a little better. And he walked over to Joey and he goes, I think you need to shoot faster. Because in the middle of Joey's target was a hole, a complete hole where the X was, it was gone. There was just an open.
Well, what AJ didn't see is he'd pull out his 50 cal.
Right. Joey,
right through the middle, right
Joey
through the
was
burrow.
shooting a 12-gauge sawed-off. That's what it looked like. He had just blown a hole in the target. And so then just to show him, Joey shot really rapidly after that and still shot 248 out of 250. By the way, Jeff Fonseca says, don't be confused. Dan Crenshaw is not Ben Crenshaw.
No, not at all.
Now, I have a feeling Ben Crenshaw partied a little more than Dan.
So this lady in Georgia, I think she was from Georgia, decided after worked for the Department of Corrections, decided to just pack up and leave after the George Floyd death. I mean, within a week, sold her place, quit her job,
last straw.
Packed up 13 duffel bags and moved to Puerto Vallarta, which I love the city. It's a great city to go to. Black lady, concerns about the systemic police oppression of black people. And I find it somewhat ironic that you go to Mexico, and I'm not knocking her choice, but here's a country that where if you're arrested by the police, they don't discriminate. You have no rights down there.
Right.
They'll pull you over.
You're not guaranteed a conversation with a lawyer anytime soon.
No.
And they drive around in black uniforms in the back of pickup trucks.
With guns.
With automatic weapons.
I found that and don't get me wrong, I felt very safe in Puerto Vallarta, but I've also known stories of folks who have been arrested in Mexico, and it has been a absolutely brutal experience.
Trying to get out.
Well, they'll plant bullets in your vehicle when you're on a hunting expedition and keep you there for months.
Yeah.
They don't even go to the point of trying to make sure or try to use American ammo to plant in your car.
Right.
They don't care.
They don't have to. There's
No, they
lot
don't.
of
But I found that interesting. You're worried about systemic police brutality here, and you go to a country where the police just don't care. And if you have enough money, they might get you. They might let you off right there. They might not. They might then charge you with bribery, even though they told you, "Hey,
they may take your money and charge you with bribery."
Exactly. Give me $100 US, and we'll let you walk. So you give them $100 US, and they slap the cuffs on you and they stuff you anyway.
They learned it from your comrades in Russia.
Probably a true story.
So we're trying to get a feel now. Can we just, for a second, it's the top of the hour. It's time for us to go. Drop the headphones and take off the wonderful hooks gear that we got from Jordan and from Marcus. And just tell us what's going on there. Tell us what your
you can see what's going on.
This is Ash's protest for no hockey.
That's not too bad.
Hang on a second.
You can fix it for me?
You're my partner, man. I gotta get those knits. I'll eat those knits like an orangutan.
It's coming. The haircut's coming. I just got to make an appointment.
Like Timmy's somewhere all a quiver.
Busy.
Right now. I can't wait to cut that hair.
I'm busy.
Beautiful. Folks, we love you. Thanks again. Super thanks out to the Hooks organization down in Corpus. Jordan and Marcus took care of us. Pat McDonald hooked us up. We really appreciate Days Gone By, folks. Get by and pick up something from Days Gone By. But I love the jersey. It's a Springer jersey.
Nice. I like the hat.
It's like a throwback.
Yeah. Joe Gomez, I want to point out real quickly, Victoria Memorial Stadium will be one of the sites for the 9/11 Memorial Climb, because I guess they're not doing it all at the Tower of the Americas in San Antonio.
Right.
So they're finding alternate sites around so that everybody can climb at the same time. They're practicing social distancing. Joe Gomez has participated in that climb, I think, every year since.
Hey, that's awesome, Joe.
And you're packed down. There's firefighters and first responders packed down with their gear. They make that. And Victoria Memorial Stadium will be the site of one of the sites for that climb this year.
You could go over there with like a cooler full of
Water.
Cold beer.
Nancy Pelosi.
About every other floor, you could stop and knock back a sud. Tell the fireman, you go ahead. I'll be up in a minute.
I'm thinking I just came up with it. Vodka, limoncello, and what's that other one that comes in a long, skinny bottle that has a little bit of a yellow tint to it?
With a T, doesn't it?
I don't remember exactly. I think it's Italian. And that'll be our cocktail on ice, shaken, strained. No, and we'll call it the Nancy Pelosi.
Nice.
I'll perfect it this weekend.
Well, we've already named, anytime you want to have a keg at your house, you're having a, what was that guy's name?
Galliano. Thank you, Chris Conrad.
What's
That's
the Supreme
one.
Court guy's name?
Anthony, no, Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
Brett Kavanaugh.
You can have a Kavanaugh. I want a Kavanaugh. You drive up to like Siesta, I want a Kavanaugh of Michelob Ultra.
You can do the lazy Nancy Pelosi, just lemon vodka on ice. But
the lazy Nancy Pelosi. Isn't that redundant?
Kind of is.
All right, folks, we're out here. Y'all have a great day. Stay tuned. Ralph Salazar and Brother Gary will be here in a minute. Gary's all emboldened. Have you noticed this? He's dressed sharp again. He's tight. He looks good. And he's already, folks, on Monday bragging about his content for Thursday's show. He said, I've got it, boys.
He's got it.
I'm bringing it.
He better deliver.
Last week, he looked at us, and it was like having Rodney Dangerfield. It's tough. It's tough out there, I tell you. I got nothing. It was like having Rodney Dangerfield on the show. Craziness.
Not anymore.
I bought a used car.
Back.
I looked in the back seat. It was my wife's dress. Come on, Rodney. Hey, you guys have a great day. We love you. Bye.
Bye, folks.
So good, man. Y'all love y'all.